first day of school, I picked up my outfit and everything, and I went to the school, and I just saw like all these other people, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so nervous, like I'm actually doing this. I got my class, so I met everybody in my class. I think we were like, I want to say we were like 10 to 12 in total, and I absolutely like loved them. You know, they're like the best group that anyone can ask for. amazing, like going to Coney Island, and there is something about the city of New York that just, it vibrates with energy. I remember when I would drive to New York and enter the city, you just feel this energy. You don't know who you're walking next to or what they do, and like everybody's hustling, but everybody's kind. Like it seems cold and hard, but everybody's kind in the concrete jungle. And to be totally honest, I did remember having like money struggles. Being 21, yeah, I saved money, but I think I spent a good amount of money too. And I had a credit card as well. Did I have a credit card? I think I did, yeah. And I remember like I was like, oh my gosh, like I like spent all my money. Like what am I gonna do? And I would literally live off of like hot dogs and yogurt and like something else. Like I literally had that every day because it was like $2. It was like so cheap until I got tired of hot dogs and tired of yogurt. But I did what I had to do. So, anyways, that was like my, experience in New York with the classes and stuff. And I remember like we went to one studio to have our class, and that's when I saw that they were filming Dance Moms. The whole crew was there and the cast was there doing, I think it was with Abby. I think that's who it was with the Dance Moms. Was she in New York? If I'm correct, it was Dance Moms. But I don't know, I just thought that was like so amazing. And I remember like my friend in the class, he said that he saw the guy from SNL on the train. Ooh, I forget his name, but he saw some guy from SNL on the train, and I was just like, oh my god, like, what? I remember I would like walk through Central Park and really see, like, I don't know, I had this one jarring experience where I was walking through the Bronx, I think it was the Bronx, and there's like one side that's like super pristine, looks rich, you have the brownstone houses, that's what it's called, and then you have another side where it's like the projects where it's just, whoa, like night and day. I have never experienced that in my life, and I felt a little bit nervous, to be honest with you. It was kind of sad to see like the different levels of life just separated by a park. We were trying to find our way to a museum, and we were walking around and didn't know we found our way there. But that was a very strange experience for me. I was just thinking about like if I had anything that I regretted, because I know that I was so proud of myself for taking that leap and doing that. But for regrets, I would say the one thing that I always wish that I did is the guy who I was talking about, who like lived in the penthouse and was super nice from France and like always dressed like to the nines, and he was so busy. He invited just a few of us, I think, because everybody else pretty much went home after the class ended, went back to their states. And he invited me and a couple of others to his birthday party, which was going to be hosted in this like big club in New York just for him. Like he rented out the space, and I didn't go because I felt like I let my shyness get in the way. I felt overwhelmed, and I really wish I would said something